Hey there, it's Yolanda O'Bannon with Yolanda Experience Tibet, and today is the 7th in a series on how to prepare for a trip to Mount Kailash in Tibet. Today I'm going to be talking about what to pack. And before I get started, I'm just going to say hello to Love Song, who's here taping today. You want to say hi?
Hello, I'm behind the camera. I can't be on the camera right now.
Okay, we're doing a handheld today. So I'm just going to start because there's a lot to talk about here. This is actually what I'm bringing for a 30-day trip in September that starts in Chengdu in western China, goes to Xining, takes the train, Lhasa, parts of central Tibet, a trek in Mount Kailash, and then also a 4 to 5 day trek from Ganden to Samye. So quite a range of temperatures and things. And let's just get started. So I'll just start back here. I don't know if you can see this. And these are just kind of toiletries and medical type things. This is a bag that you can hang. It doesn't matter. These are just wipes and your basic toiletries, shampoos, all that kind of stuff. I put there for 30 days. This one is just another bag. It doesn't, you guys, this sounds kind of weird. I bring fiber because I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but this may be inappropriate, but a heads up. As bad as having diarrhea in Tibet is having the opposite, so having constipation. And if you take some fiber, it sets you up. And these are just random. This actually are little face mask to help with keeping your nose and throat healthy, basically, while you're there. The air is very dry. Tibetans wear face masks, and I'm going to try it this year. And then some electrolytes. I'm not going to go through everything, but this is just the general kind of toiletries and medical stuff. This is a small emergency medical kit basically for the trekking, and I just have Band-Aids. These are clippers, whatever, some gauzes, that kind of thing. My Swiss Army knife is in there. Neosporin, you can get a typical one. This is one that I've just kind of put together, some alcohol pads, and this is a clotting sponge to stop bleeding. You just do your best to put together a small medical kit. This is something that I'm going to use daily. These are like my little daily medicines that I take, or vitamins, and I just put them all in one little container to have in my day pack, or I'm sorry, like kind of close to me. And then these are the medicines that are just kind of emergency type medicines, right? So, or ones that you don't necessarily need. So, Imodium, and then I don't want to show all my labels here, but I'm bringing like altitude meds, ciprofloxacin, I think, some kinds of, stuff for intestinal problems. Your doctors can prescribe this kind of thing for you. I'll just look at what it is, actually. Amoxicillin. Yeah, I'll do another one about this, specifically about these. Okay, bringing a little flask for hot and cold, and this is a hydro flask that keeps things hot if hot, cold if cold, and doesn't condense on the outside. I actually haven't used this yet, but gets really great reviews. Gonna try this. So this is nice on the trail. For trekking and when you're just kind of out, this is one of these nice little flexible bowls that you can get we got it from REI here, and a little fork and spoon. This is just so to have your own one if you're just kind of out there. It's good. And a little plastic mug. This will, for me, last time came in super handy. Anytime, it's light, but anytime you're just on the road, you can just put things in your own mug, and if you're kind of out somewhere and people invite you for sanitary reasons, it's pretty nice to have your own mug. Couple bandanas. These are just nice for all kind of purposes: cleaning, putting around your neck, in your head, all kind of purposes. I'm bringing 2 little travel towels. These are these I can't remember what they're called, but they're just like quick dry travel towels. And this is kind of a medium-sized one and a small one, kind of like for your face and for your rest. There are larger size ones. I don't personally, I think it's too much. So we have this. You're in the hotel a lot when you're on the road in Tibet. I mean, you're in hotels a lot. So this is basically for when you're trekking. This is a sleep liner, and it's a very heavy sleeping bag liner. I'm going to use a sleeping bag from our travel agent who nicely provides sleeping bags, but you need to give your own liner just for your sanitary purposes and for theirs, you know, to keep their bag cleaner. And this one is a very heavy one because we're going to be at Kailash and then at pretty high altitude in Gundin and Samye. And this one is actually rated, it's called Extreme, I'll say that. And it's supposed to add like 25 degrees to the temperature of a bag. So that's why I brought that. This is a little emergency thermal blanket. This is probably overkill, but I can, you know, I like to be safe. So on Kailash or the Gundin Samye trek, if we have any kind of problem and get stuck out in somewhere, these reflective bags keeps you a little warmer. These are just locks for my bag. I'll probably only bring one of these actually, but I haven't decided yet. This is a little awesome thing called a Lucy light, and if you haven't seen these, I'm not going to open it up. It opens up. I don't want to open it up, but it opens up and you use it in your tent at night. It makes this nice kind of globe, and you can also strobe it. But those are awesome for the tent. Camelback for the water. Now here is something that I learned from my friend Marty on our last trip, and I think he learned it from his friend Anik. A water bottle, like a super old-fashioned water, I think it's called water bottle. A super old-fashioned, like they used to have in the old days. Anywhere in Tibet, you can get hot water. And if you fill this up, and when it's cold, you put it in your sleeping bag with you, there is nothing like it. It's fantastic. I highly, highly recommended this thing. And what else we got? This is also for on the trek, a headlight, and then just some extra batteries. Of course, you can get extra batteries in Tibet. I just don't like to hassle with it, and it's surprising sometimes. I mean, you can get these batteries in Tibet, but it's surprising sometimes, like, you know, it can just waste your time and energy, so I'm just bringing them. These are also little, this is a little waterproof thing to put on the back of your day pack, so in case it rains or snows or something, I'll use that. This is just a little emergency poncho. I'm bringing a rain jacket, but this is just like for day trips when I don't want to bring my whole rain jacket, just a little emergency rain poncho. A little umbrella, and it depends on the room, but I may not bring this, but last time I didn't bring in a small umbrella like this, and I thought, oh, I'll pick one up in Xining. It wasn't that easy. It's like we had to go to several stores to find that, so I'm just going to bring it this time. All right, moving on to the kind of warm weather gear, things that I need for the trek and when it's really cold. This is just a warm felt hat that I'm going to bring to keep me warm, and this actually I probably won't wear on the Kailash trek, but just to keep me warm and keep the sun off your face. And I haven't decided, but I may just bring this lighter one, which is just a lighter sun hat. Very importantly, you need something. You need some kind of pretty good sun hat. I'm a little debating because this one is sort of ugly, but it has the better sun protection actually. The sun in Tibet is just extraordinarily strong, and I learned this recently, if you're taking Diamox, you really, if you're taking the altitude medicine, Diamox increases your susceptibility to sun damage or sunburn. So you really got a double whammy when you're in Tibet. You're at very high altitude, which very much increases the sun's strength on your skin, and then I'm sorry, I don't know technically what happens, but you know, you're very likely to sunburn in Tibet. And then if you're taking the altitude meds, so you're like doubly susceptible to that. So make sure you have your sun protection. This is just a Gore-Tex light rain jacket. And this is actually for two purposes. This is for rain, but also for wind. So on the trek, Kailash is said, this is my first time to Kailash, but Kailash is said to be very windy. So when it's very cold and windy, this will keep the wind off of you and help keep you warm. In addition to that, this was easily the most expensive item for this whole trip. I bought a very light, very warm down jacket with a good solid hood, and it goes pretty long. You see, it's like, you know, it goes past your butt. So, and this is probably for the early mornings on the trek in Kailash and also Ganden, but also for the when you've reached your destination on the trek, it's going to be really cold. This is just a little. It's not a real compression bag, but I'm going to use this as a compression bag for this jacket. By the way, these two jackets I'm not putting in my regular bag that I'm going to check on the airplane. They're super expensive. I'm going to bring them with me, even though it's a big pain to carry these heavy things on it. Okay, moving on. Oh, I just stuck this in a bag. So my friend Meg recommended down booties for the trek. She does a lot of mountaineering kind of thing and skiing, and so I'm going to try it this time. These were not actually down; they're just like some kind of polyester, but these are to use when you get into camp. So that's what I'm going to try, assuming I can fit this in my pack. Pair of very heavy gloves for the trek, a baseball hat. I'm a hat person. And a very warm wool hat, and this one has a polar, like a fleece lining. You know, when you're home, just think about it. When you're home, it's really hard to imagine how cold it's going to be. Like, you know, most of us are going to be like, you know, here it is. It's August in California. It's not super hot, but it's really hard to imagine how cold it can be on the mountain. So when I was at Everest Base Camp, it was freezing. So really, you know, pack up your heavy gear. And then I got this also, it's just like a fleece neck gaiter thing, also for that same, mostly for Kailash. Okay, moving on. These are rain pants. This is not ideal, but like I don't really usually use rain pants or like rain pants, but these are like, again, rain and wind pants. And I went and looked at Gore-Tex ones. They were so freaking expensive, and I hardly use them, so I'm just going with my old rain pants. Socks. I'm using some socks for Chengdu, regular-ish socks for kind of Lhasa, and then these are more like hiking socks. I'm hiking a fair amount of days. This is not that many, but I can use these too. This is not that many socks, but you just, I don't know about you, but when I'm hiking, I just don't change my socks. They get kind of nasty. That's it. At least one for the rain. Oh, and these are sock liners. So if it's really cold and I need extras, you know, I'll put this under the other socks. That'll work out. These are just flip-flops for, you know, most hotels in China and Tibet have some little paper shoes, like little throwaway paper shoes, but I'm bringing these because of the train, and I think that I'm gonna want something to be able to go to the bathroom in, honestly. Yeah. And flip-flops are always good. I don't know. Okay, pants. I'm probably a little overkill, but I'm bringing a couple of pair of yoga pants for being around the room and also for Chengdu, which is going to be like low 80s. Also bringing a pair of just REI hiking pants, this kind of thing. And another pair, same thing. These are all a little on the light side, which makes me a little nervous, but that's what I'm doing. And some jeans. So those are my pants. Shirts. This is just it's some kind of polyester, basically for sun. It's pretty light, kind of a mid-weight thing that you can it's a light thing that will keep the sun off of you, but not be too hot. A bunch of t-shirts, 2, 3, that's not 4, 5. I'm bringing six t-shirts, probably way overkill for somebody else, but I just like to have my choices. And this is a short sleeve, kind of very light base layer thing that I got from REI. It's supposed to keep you drier. I think, like, if you use it underneath other things, it's supposed to keep you drier. I'll be honest, in my experience, the cotton, you're not supposed to use cotton. I love cotton. It's comfortable. I'm bringing this one just in case the cotton really doesn't serve me when I'm trekking, but that's it. This is a longer t-shirt to wear to sleep in. Okay, bathing suit. There are hot springs at various places in Tibet, and I'm very, very hopeful to visit some. Love hot springs. Okay, getting there. All right, now these are kind of mid-layer things. So these are all just like kind of half zips. This is pretty light. I don't know if you can see. It's quite light. And another one, same thing. These are all just kind of half zips, like light to mid-layer. And just because you want to layer everything, right? And then this is on my friend Meg's recommendation, a smart wool of the same thing, because this one is to be warmer on Kailash. And then Lovesong doesn't recommend that I bring this one, but I think I'm bringing this little bit heavier fleece. And just because it's really nice in the evening. You know, you wear different things during the day and the night, and I think it's really nice in the evening to have a pretty warmish thing, but not too, not like a jacket, right? These are 2 long johns, smart wool, and like some kind of polyester. And these are going to be my best friends. These are some fleece, fairly heavy fleece pants for the evenings. Probably once I hit Lhasa even, I'll be happy for these. And on the trek, I don't know, I may still be wearing some long johns underneath those, even in the evenings. Underwears, I bring a ton of them. I bring like 8. A lot of people just like bring a few and, you know, wash them. I just don't want to be bothered. I mean, I wash them when I have to, but I just don't want to be bothered, so I bring a whole bunch. A couple of bras, just a regular bra, and then a sports bra for the trekking. Okay, and then, so going over there, maybe you can just, going over here, this is a gift, a small present for one of our friends. These are vitamins. Medicines and vitamins are really popular in Tibet because, as you know, maybe in China, the quality, there's some questions about the quality of these kinds of things. So if you bring them, they really like it. So I'm bringing some Advil, some vitamins for men, vitamins for women. And then this is just a pack of smaller Tylenols, Advils, and like that, just to give to gifts to people. You know, there's always somebody that you can give a gift to. This is a little section about dog protection, and the part that I'm bringing is this. I'll talk more about this, but this is basically a sound device that dogs don't like, that you just point them at them and you hit this button and it emits a sound that you can't hear, but they don't like. And then this is actually some pepper spray. And this is what my friend's bringing. So I'll do another one about that in a little bit. This is my small camera. For a camera this time, I'm only bringing this Sony CyberShot because it's so tiny, and my iPhone. Love taking pictures. Pictures are really important to us for Yolongdu and just personally, but I just can't hack bringing the big old camera and it, all the gear and the lenses and the tripod and all that stuff. So iPhone and this. And then these things are so that we can download the pictures, which is, it's real easy to, well, I don't know. So this is a wireless hard drive so that I can transfer pictures from my iPhone to my iPad, which has more storage, and that's just a adapter for it. This is a Mophie power brick, right? And this will charge, we tested this, it basically will charge 1.5 times our iPhone. So if you're just out there and you cannot get a charge somewhere, you can use this. That's just for ER, basically. These are some adapters for plugs. So in China, the plug is going to be like this. I've just been researching it. It's kind of interesting. The plug looks like an American plug, but it's shorter and has no holes. You can put an American plug into the Chinese circuits usually, except you have to be, this isn't one of them, but you have to be, this is an American style plug. Sometimes the American style plugs have one side bigger than the other one, so it won't always work. So I also bring this kind of, I don't know what it's called, just like a universal plug converter so that it fits almost anything. And in theory, just these should do it, but I've had experience in the past where there was just something weird and I had to use both. So I'm bringing all of these. If anybody has questions about this, let me know, and I'm happy to talk about this more on a whole Facebook Live, but I don't want to spend too much time with that. This is a little converter to that will take my the Sony CyberShot's flash cards, memory drives, and can put it into my iPad, because my iPad is one of my big storages. So I'm going to take photos from the phone and put them into my iPad with that. This is the charger for the camera. Okay, almost there. Not 100% sure that I'm bringing this, but this is just a little, it's called the Voltage Valet, and it just, plugs into a wall in Tibet, and then you have a couple of you have a USB port, and then you have a couple of other places. So many times you want to charge more than one device and you can't do it, so that's what this is for. These two are bags that I'm also bringing. This is the day bag for the plane, and this, I'm also going to bring this as a day bag on the plane, a carry-on. But this bag is my newest addition to my travel portfolio, which I'm very excited about. So this is a Timbuktu kind of medium messenger bag, and it's great because in Tibet, last time I had this kind of bag, and it was a real pain if you're just like walking around the monasteries, like out in your day. It was a pain to get that off your shoulder, get out your dog thing, get out your camera, get out your water. So what I really wanted, and I just kind of made it up in Tibet, but what I really wanted was something like this I could just have in front of me, open up, get my water, get my iPad, get my iPhone. And so I think this is going to be awesome as a day pack, really going around during the day thing, and also helpful to stick a bunch of stuff in when I'm getting on the plane. Okay, these are just random, these are papers that I'm bringing with all my flights and a few maps and things. I bring, and these are like so optional, but I like to bring some just kind of folders like this. There's always like 1,000, I'm a super organized person, so there's always like 1,000 receipts and random things. It's just kind of nice to have something to put them in, and like maybe your important papers or something. I like to write. I put phone numbers and kind of important, what do you call, passwords and stuff sometimes in something like this, and keep it in my travel wallet. These ones, I may just bring one of these, but I probably will bring two. Just like to write. Sometimes you don't have access to your computer or whatever, and I just love to have something to write in. Bringing some maps. I may not bring all of these, but right now I've got a map of Lhasa, a map of Tibet, a map of Kailash, a sightseeing map of Chengdu, and this is the second map of Tibet. I like maps. And this is, I travel with this, instead of a money belt, this is a total personal preference kind of thing. Instead of a money belt, I like this. I just hate the way money belts feel on my body. So this thing, I can just hang it around my neck or sling it like sideways around my shoulder. And you just, your passport, your money. This one's not full yet, but I'll put all the things in it. That's for that. And finally, these are, people often ask us what are good gifts to bring to Tibet, and we just happen to know some babies. Some friends have had babies, and so it's very popular in Tibet. Some items from the United States or from outside, like for example, this is like a baby formula. That's, people of course want their children's formula to be very non-toxic and safe, so this is a kind that they really like. And then there's this special kind of bottle, and I don't even know, but it's a special kind of bottle, Dr. Brown's, that is that has like a special burp-free thing or something, like I don't know, but popular. So bringing those as gifts, and then some other items for some good friends. So you can bring the various gifts. So I think that's it. Oh, lastly is here's the actual pack that I'm bringing to Tibet. This thing, and believe it or not, I got almost everything in this giant pile here. I got almost everything into here, and then we have those two bags for the plane. So I think that'll work. And then as I pack, I'll put them in these little divider. It's kind of nice to have a place where all your socks are, so and these things. And then just finally, I'm going to look here. Some of those gift things or random stuff come in boxes, and it's really inefficient to pack in boxes. So we take them out of the boxes, keep the box, and then you can just put that in some flat place in your suit, in your luggage, and then then it's much easier to pack those boxes. So and this I will add. Here is the actual packing list. And we have a copy of this on our website, and I will add a link to this on our website after we go. So if anybody that's all for this. It was a super long one. Thanks for listening, and I hope that was helpful for you. So if anybody is interested in traveling to Tibet, we have a system that helps people, that makes your Tibet travel simpler and safer, so for your peace of mind. So if you are interested in traveling to Tibet and want more information, you can go to our website, yowangdu.com, www.yowangdu.com, and you can, there's links everywhere to get travel help, and we can help you with a Tibet travel plan, whether or not you have a Tibetan agent. We give you all kinds of tips, things like this, specifically designed for people traveling to Tibet. So I hope you're doing great, and as I journey through Tibet in September, I will be reporting back, and I hope you'll stay with us. And that's it. You want to say bye, Lobsan?
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a good one.